You get the feeling that the richest people you know aren't always the smartest. Well, that's because wealth doesn't come from no own complex strategies and business model now. It comes from building your social skills, knowing how to talk a stranger, how to handle conflict, how to ask your want. Every dollar you ever gonna earn will come from someone else's pockets, okay? So in this video, we're breaking down 10 powerful social skills that actually going to make you rich. Welcome to ls.com. So first up is one broadly not going to think of as social skills. Standing up for yourself, but actually it's one of the first ways you communicate with other people. Anytime you interact with somebody else, there's certain kinds of negotiations going on. So instead of money, it's about respect. People are going to text you and ways you react when someone talks over you, dismissing your opinions or try to take advantage of your attempts. It sets a precedent. If you let it slide, you're teaching the other person that you can treat you like this, and over time, and people start doing the same. That's why the rich never lets happen. Relationship is high level circle runs of respect. When you stand up for yourself, you're standing signal from value yourself. How you earn respect from others high level people. You have to make it clear, completely, and early on where your that line is. Not by getting defensive and being dramatic, but you have to do this because of others successfully seeing you don't respect yourself aren't going to respect you. That is how they feel around people belong at table. So even though make look like a social skill, standing up for yourself is actually the one makes all the others possible. Alright, so the second social skills then is small talk. Now most people have this one. They think small talk is shallow and a waste of time or something you just have to fake your real conversations begins. But actually it's silent. Most people get wrong. When you first meet someone, they don't know well enough to trust you. They grounded, they should be. So on the surface, small talk sounds like about weather or sports or how the days are going. It's but reality is person signal safe to talk to. Good small talk every little to do with you actually says. It's more about asking simple questions, paying attention, and let people expand. The goal with small talk is simply to connect with other person over. It's a one common they start to you, and once they like you, they start to trust you. And when people can feel comfortable around you, open up what they care about, what they need, what they're afraid of. The people who master your skill never run out of opportunities. So if you can't think of the goal, but look, you still have to get clear at it. Because the better you are in a small talk, you faster you can move on to an actual connection. Now, once you master small talk, you unlock the third social skill that you make you rich, networking. Now again, this is what all most people hate, but actually, you see most of people you can collecting people and contact link up going into events and extensive business call. But in reality, that kind of networking really lives everywhere because relationships aren't number games. The real skill of networking lies in building multiple beneficial relationships. It's not about how many people have you know, but being able to connect people with other people who can help them. Sometimes you are the one who can help them, but every often networking means introduce two people you can help to each other. But over time, that's build a reputation for you. Okay, people start to associate your name with opportunity. Being the person who knows the guys sounds simple, but trust me, okay, it's actually one of the more powerful positions you can be in. But here's the thing, learning all the business skill will push your life work. But if actually want to be rich or successful, you also have to learn about personal finance, entrepreneurship, confidence, leadership, building habits. A list go on pretty much over. The question is, where do you learn it all? Is that exactly accurate? You owe to personal growth and well-being. Inside, we find out lessons on exact skills and that separates a average person and the rich or successful. Negotiations, interruptions, investor communications, personal finance, and leadership. Think of like having a personal coach in your podcast, keep it sharp, motivate, moving toward a life you always wanted. 100,000 of people use every single day and justly changing their lives for the better. A special thank you for being this precious. You unlock exclusive 30% discount on your learning plan. It just was from the science line, my friend. Go on and on yourself this year. Alright, so next the social skills are collaborations. So not many people get this wrong, okay? People love to say that they team players, but most of the time they really mean because you can tolerate people while still doing things their own way. True collaborations go much deeper than that. It's not about ability to work with others, the ability to set ego aside and focus entirely on what you're trying to achieve together. That sounds simple, but incredibly hard to do. But everyone wants to be right. Everyone wants to others recognize. Everyone wants credit. It's hard to let go of your need to stand out. It really takes discipline. But remember, at the end of the day, it's not a matter. So successful people think differently. Instead of trying to win inside the team, they put 100% of their focus on making team win and forget everything else. When you have enough people like that room, well, that's it. You can do extraordinary things. Collaboration is all about outcome. The faster you can align with others around the shared goals, the faster you can achieve it. And this applies directly to our next social skill, okay? Conflict resolutions. And this one incredibly powerful because who has to deal with disagreements, right? But look, here's the thing. On surface, conflict resolutions is like about getting everyone to agree, but is it not trying to get people agree with each other as often? It keep people stuck because it's practically impossible. Instead, you have to learn how to make people disagree, but disagree well. Jeff Bezos called this principle disagree and commit. It's a simple idea, but it's powerful, okay? So whenever you important decisions to make, you can debate it. You say your case, make your arguments, but eventually, someone has to make decisions. And then everyone, even if they don't agree with it, has to follow through with it to get the best outcome. You can see with other conflicts inevitable, but most conflicts aren't about the end goals. It's just about method of achievement. Once you get that, you realize you don't need everyone to agree everything. You just need everyone to agree on your goal. They commit to one way to achievement. That's how successful people solve conflicts. Alright, moving on. The next social skills is one that really makes you rich, but it's also you that so many people misunderstand negotiations. If you know a lot of people, negotiations is the competition where you bring person that get best deal. But that kind of thinking, well, it's missing the point. Negotiations is the sense is how quantify your value. It's for you put a number or design a structure that reflects that. That's why the negotiations start long before you're making offers. You start with truly understanding what you bring to the table. If you don't, you either basically scam yourself and asking you too little, you get laughed out of the room by asking for too much. So when you use creations, well, you basically saying, I know I'm worth and I just that you do too. That act as respect. and one established and commits attention and relates with a mutual understanding. The social skills is extremely powerful if you learn how to harness it. And now, here is another social skills that most people don't understand, but it's important selling. And this is easily one of the most profit one. Is when people hear their sales, they usually imagine someone desperate and trying to top them buying something they don't need. They all care about is their money. That is exactly what good selling is, isn't it? Great selling is really about helping realize and problems worth solving and showing them a clear path to fix it. It sounds simple, it's way harder than you think. Because before you can convince someone to buy something, you first have to realize they have a problem in the first place. And one day awareness if there's an entire sequence of belief you have to help them build. First, you have to make a belief your problem is worth solving. That's the worth solving now. That is actually can solve. That way solve it makes sense. And finally, the hardest part, that you're a person who can do it. Every step of that is more acts and empathy persuasion. But as why selling is such value skill, is communication at a highest level, ability to move someone from total unawareness to decisions. And that's why can you make so much money? Obviously, you can get earn some commissions if you're good, if you think about it. Whether business and leadership or even relationships, you're constantly selling ideas, plans, or ambitions. The people who master selling don't just make more money, they make more things happen. And that is why can it make you rich. Alright, moving on once again, here's get into some higher level skill today. Social skill number 8 is delegations, which sounds deceptively simple, but there are basically two levels to it, okay? On the basic first level, delegation is just when your project that requires more than your present, you have to down stack and you're just waiting until it works stack. But that's really only the mechanical side of it. The real skills of delegations are very little to do with giving orders. It's not just about telling people what to do, it's about knowing who you are. It's about understanding their strengths, their weakness, what motivations them, how it works best. Because we think about it, you can delegate well too what your son don't understand. But understanding well, it takes time. It's built paying attention. Notice how people think and what kind of challenges bring our best day. That's the only way to great results. You have to be able to get the right person doing the right tasks. So great relations is really about emotional intelligence. It's about knowing people and makes them truly unique. But if you really want to have a good life, then that's just a skill. Once what the report you like nothing else. Public speaking. But the thing is, that phrase is a little misleading. Most people hear speaking and imagine your room full of people starting out with the spotlight in the center of the stage. In reality, it doesn't matter you talk about 1,000 people or just someone across a table. Public speaking is really just ability to capture people with an idea. You probably felt this different yourself, right? Two people can talk about the same topic. One makes you feel asleep, your others leave or thinking about for days. When you can do that, you can pretty much make everything do anything. And that's why every great leader admire has their public speaking. Because the world there's a move for ideas. It's move for people who can make others believe in them. That ability is almost more than anything else determines how successful you can become. Alright, so the next one here is something that you probably haven't heard you describe as a social skills before, and interviewing. But it came over the road, never thought existed. You see, interview is in our form. Because it's not just about asking questions, it's about asking the right ones at the right time to the right person. Asking right questions can completely change how somebody sees it because it shows you have understand beyond it just surface level. If you think about it, people love to talk about things they care about. So you can strike a heart of that, you instantly learn their trust. That's the why it's so important to understand who you're talking to. The right questions for the person might be completely wrong for another. Well, you have to learn and understand what really drives someone. If you want explosions of this, the best questions don't reveal just information. They make people expand their own thinking. And that's what makes the skill so powerful. New ideas I will create well. So if you bring out of the right moment, you can open the door you even not existed. And remember, you can always ask yourself a question too. And you're always just one way question away from the next breakthrough. So as answer, those are essential social skills not going to make you rich. Let's show experience and by your permanent effect because that is only them you are going to actually build them. And remember, if you want to learn nitty-gritty detail or building the skill, come and join every other apps. I'll be right there waiting for you. And you get 30%. You follow the top link in the description of this video. But anyway, that's all today, my friend. We'll see you back next time. Until then, take care.